It's all new for 2018. We have the Genesis G80 Sport. Now, the G80 Sport is exactly what it's supposed to be, a sport. It's not an M badge from BMW. It's not an AMG or a RS badge from Audi. It's its own. It's a step below that. And how do you define a sport? And the way I see it, it's got creature comforts. It's a comfortable ride. And when you want to have a little bit of fun, you put it in sport mode and you get a little bit sharper steering, maybe a little bit tighter suspension, in some cases a little more exhaust noise. But the G80 Sport is exactly what it's supposed to be, a sport. The only problem with it is the sport has become such a generic name over the years. Years ago, I was driving through a dealership and they couldn't sell any cars. So they literally printed up some sport badges and slapped every car with sport. You almost hear somebody coming through oh, honey, we got to get that. It says that's a sport model. I want the sport model. I really don't see that happening. But if that's what sells cars, that's how they're going to market a car. So join me while we take a look at the all-new Genesis G80 Sport.
So with a base price of about $56,000, you start with a more aggressive front fascia with a cross mesh grille, a more aggressive rear fascia with a rear diffuser and quad-tipped dual exhaust. You have rocker extension moldings. Now the car features copper accents throughout the car, most notably on the center caps of these really nice 19-inch split spoke wheels that are wearing a 245/40/19 in the front, a 275/35/19 in the rear. And of course you can see that nice Genesis logo coming through on the brake calipers. So the heart of the transplant is a 3.3-liter twin-turbo engine, producing 365 horsepower and 376 foot-pounds of torque, and an impressively low 1,300 RPM. Now that will give you a 0 to 60 time of about 5 seconds and a quarter-mile time of about 13.5, which is nearly identical to the 420 horsepower V8. However, the V8 does not really see those torque numbers until 5,000 RPM. Now, I don't see the horsepower of the car as making that big of a difference, as it is the weight. 4,500 pounds to be exact. Now, if you compare it to an Audi A6 or a BMW 540i, both cars are 350 to 400 pounds lighter. And that's sure going to make a difference as far as performance numbers. I mean, that's like strapping in your 350-pound mother-in-law and expecting it to perform well. It's just not going to happen. However, the rivals do cost about $10,000 more. So maybe for that price, you can live with a little less performance. And your mother-in-law. So as you make your way to the interior, you have this real nice black leather, which is an upgrade from the standard car with its copper contrast stitching. Or you can go with this cream color, which has contrast stitching as well. You also have a nice padded armrest with more of that copper contrast stitching. You have this carbon fiber that wraps all the way around the cabin. You have these machine pedals that are backlit. And you have this seat that has perforation, and it has lumbar support, as well as they're heated and cooled. You have these nice contrast stitching in the dash, along with the soft touch. You have this nice 7-inch LCD informational display, which is an upgrade from the standard car. You have a analog clock and all your climate control, along with a CD player, right at your fingertips. You have a 8-speed drive-by-wire transmission, which is an upgrade from the standard car as well, with your different driving modes. You have this split armrest that's padded with its color contrast stitching. And you have this Lexicon 14-speaker surround system, and you have wireless device charging, along with 2 cup holders. Now you have a 9.2-inch touch screen with navigation, which is an upgrade. You can also use your manual controls. I found everything very easy to use and very easy to navigate. You do have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And of course, you have navigation as standard. Now you have a 360-degree view rear backup camera, which is really cool, I think. You have things like automated emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, blind spot warning. You have a heads-up display. And of course, you have a panoramic sunroof with all your controls and your sunshade. You have this real nice vanity mirror, this LED powered. As you make your way to the back seat, you have this manual sunshade. All your materials carry over with some more of that contrast stitching. And you even have a Genesis sill. Now, the seat was adjusted for a 6-foot adult. I had plenty of room with the upgraded map pocket on the upgraded seat. And of course you had vents for your rear passengers. You have this real nice center armrest with 2 cup holders, a 3-stage heated seat, and your power rear sunshade. And of course you have a pass-through from the trunk. You have LED powered side lights. Now the trunk was about 15.3 cubic feet, which is a decent sized trunk. Of course you have your spare tire with your tools and jack and your battery in the trunk on this model. And of course it's powered. So you have adjustable headrests, front and rear. I like the fact that you have this nice white interior inserts, but everywhere you're touching and the grimy hands will mess up your white. If you have passengers like mine, you appreciate that. So with its adaptive dampers and suspension enhancements, it's a better handling, more precise weapon in the turns than its cousins, without sacrificing ride comfort. So this car is more about luxury with sport touches, rather than developing a car trying to get around the Nuremberg ring faster than everyone else. And that's okay, because the classy touches, quiet cabin, with fun factor acceleration, might just be the perfect recipe. Thanks for watching.